Peaceful greetings, all. Have another lesson for you. One that I truly believe will be extremely helpful in correcting the concepts that we have in government. Okay, so I'm going to be using the Moorish American model of trust law, just because for me that's the Muslim model. It's just consistent. Okay, so you can utilize this model according to your own religious liberties of conscience, right? Just wherever it applies, right? But I'm going to show through Muslim culture what this status correction in government here in America is about. Okay? So, Jurali teaches his Moors that there is but one Allah, one Prophet, one temple. And the very first thing that we learn in the Moorish science education studies is that Allah, everything that Allah is, man is too. And that Allah is inside of man. So, all right. We have one national trust. There is but one Allah. The trust is the government. That is the government. When we're talking about trust, that's the government. That's the status of the mind. That's the mental control. That is the concept that Allah, which is your governor of the world, you are trusting in Allah. So this is the government, all right? Allah is your governor. So you're governing from inside. Your governance, your authority starts in your mind. Okay? He says that there is but one prophet. That is the national statesman, the professional citizen, the trustee. This is your trustee. Okay? And we also learn that a prophet can be an angel. Okay? So, okay, so we know that an angel in Islamic studies or in Muslim Moorish studies, an angel is an angle of light, how we see things, okay? So your prophet, this is your principle. Or Grand Sheikh. And national chairman. So Allah is the trust, all right? And the trust has an account. So we're looking at this from trust account status, right? If Allah is the national trust, that's the whole ledger itself, right? The prophet would be the principal and the angel would be the equitable owner, right? You have the temple. The temple is the estate. The temple is the estate. You have two sides of the temple, right? The temple is the estate held in trust. All right? So your birth certificate has the name of the angel. It has the name of the child who was called Jesus. It was given a title. This is your title. Your temple is your title. Okay? Man is the nation state citizen. Man is the national trustee. This is your trustee. That's what I should have put. I should just put it up that way. All right? Allah is the trust, the trustor. All of this is going to make the trust, okay? The prophet, that is the executive officer, and the angel is the administrative. Okay? Because it is the grand sheik, it is the principal, it is the one out front, it is the leading person. All right? But then the leading person has a chairman. You act also in the capacity of what? The speaker, the one who speaks on behalf of the trust. So you have the authority of your national government, of your national state of mind, right? Understanding you are the executive ruler, so you are the steward, right? Your temple. Your temple is, all right, that's trustee. Your temple is the trust's estate held in trust. Okay? So the estate is everything that governs the mind, right? The statement, the mind of the state. Everything that you can think of, right, is property held in the estate. This is incorporeal property, right? This is intangibles, right? Equity, the governing administration that we're in today acknowledges tangible assets, but prefers intangible assets. All right? So we're dealing with everything held not physically, but mentally first. Debits, credits. This is your ledger. Yeah, hold on. I got it. I'm trying to speak it in a manner that So we're dealing with accounts. To count. All right? To number. To observe. Step by step. Trust account. You have your square. It's a rectangle, but you have your four corners. Okay? You split your paper in halves. Two halves. This is now a book. This is a book. Can you conceptually see that this is a book? Right? I would close that. It would become one. I would open it. Two sheets. This is an account. Okay? So the book is what? The book is the law. The book is the law. It's what is being written. A law. This is the book. In it, it has guidance and protection for those who truly believe. Ooh, anywho. All right. So, when you're dealing with a trust account, you have two sides of each account, and one side is a legal person. Legal means, of course, on paper. Legal means on paper. Okay? So you have a paper personality. I like to say person means personality. Okay? So we're going to say legal personality. Everything on this side is public. Okay? In the public, you have assets. Assets, right? Let me see if I can. So your greatest asset is your mind, is your governing mind, the way you think, right? That is your greatest asset. What you think, you create, right? So you have your asset. So your legal person is an asset. It's something that is property. It's something that can be owned by somebody. Okay? Now, in government, everything in the public is owned by the government. In the public, everything operates under one uniform trust. Okay? So your legal personality, right? Which is what? If it's a thought, if intangible assets is anything that you can think of, right? Then you have intangible assets, and we're going to call these debts. These are debts. All right? Debt is not a bad thing. Debt in this economy are tangible and or intangible assets that we trade. We use our word to make promises. We give our word in exchange for performance. This is the word. Everything over here is the word. Okay. Right, that is an asset, absolutely. So, collateral. collateral, things that you can hold and exchange. Now, any exchange going on in the public has liability. Okay? An asset is a liability. Okay? So, we have assets in the public, right? Legal title. Things that I could really hold. Things that are identifiable in the system as paper persons. It's just the name of an account. That's what it is. It's not a living person. Now on this side, you have lawful, equitable personality. Remember, your personality is what you think. So you have a legal person that basically it's written out. Let me show you. Hit the safe real quick. All right, so this is a legal asset. This is a liability. This is a debt. This has value. This has a value. All right? It's a negative value. All right? You need a negative value to balance out a positive value. Okay? Nothing comes before something, and so you have to see the negative is where it starts from, and you have to bring the negative to a middle point, 0, and then positive. -1, -2, -3, +1, +2, +3. Okay? A debt is evidence of property. Everything in this business name, right, has a value. And there is a financial insurance policy, right? There is a trust account. There is an estate account and trust. So the legal personality is an estate. Everything on this side represents property, represents potential, but it's substance. It's just substance. It has not taken any form. You have substance. All right. So this is your U.S. citizen. This is your public, personal trust and estate account on file with your government, acknowledging the trust and the estate. All right? This whole side is stuff, things, property. Everything on this side is what we have. This is what we have. This is possession. Here you go. These are possessions. These are your personal possessions. Just for yourself, right? Now, in government, in order to advance the economy, the people, even in ancient times, they have taken of themselves and given portion for the whole. They have unified their collaterals, right? These are federations. These are, all types of organizations. All right, people coming together for one common cause, right? These are your possessions. So we found out that there is a trust account. This is an estate. And we now know that along with that legal person, right, there is an actual estate debit account. So you have debits, which is money today. Okay? But because it's in the public, it's unsecured. All right? This is your treasure chest. There you go. There you go. This is your treasury. And I'm going to just go with, this is your treasurer. Just because I hear it in my head. All right. This is everything you own. All right. So we're going to put this up here as well. So we have the legal person, which is debts collateral. All right. Then social security, insurance policy. Because that's what this is. This is an insurance policy. Because you have an estate, and your estate is valuable. All right, and it's supposed to be administered to you. All right, so you have a good financial position. We're playing Monopoly, and you have a piece on the board. You're in the game of trust. Okay? So all of this equates to our ancestors having gold, silver, copper, iron, minerals, natural resources, land, earth, the regulation of the waters around the area, the people are maintaining the land, right? This is the Republic. Okay? This is the Republic. Now, Allah is inside. Everything about governing is happening inside first, right? So, Allah, or the thought of it all, this is where your private in the mind is where you administrate privately. Okay? So the private represents this line between both sides, right? It is the demarcation line that shows you east from west. Okay? This is your private, right? Everyone hears about the public and the private and the Republic. Now we see I don't know if y'all can really. But now we see that we have the treasury, the treasurer, and the trust in and of itself. Right here in front of you. This is what's called a balance sheet. You are balancing, you are making a post on the record. If any of you follow, Jesus was at the middle of the post. Jesus is the private crown. All right. So the legal name is Jesus. You are Jesus. Jesus has to be secured. All right. Jesus is the long promised son, a promise to pay. Jesus is the promise to pay off all the debts. Long promise. It is written. All right. Now the long promised son must now become a man. All right. So now we have all of these things, these assets, right? Now we can draw on them. What does it mean to draw? To write. Right? Are you going to file paperwork and administrate? Your assets must be administrated properly. Okay? Someone has to be drawing, or another word that we can use is drafting. You are a drafter on your board. What types of things do we draft? Bills. For what purpose? To exchange. Bills of exchange. So your assets can now be written as value and used for exchange. This is where your dividends come in. These is benefits that come in. Right? If you're using this capacity over here and you are drawing from this side of the account in the public, you are creating more debt. So there's nothing wrong with debt, but everything on this side has to equal on this side, which is what we're going to get into, right? So we're also going to put expenses. All right? Everything here goes into the public. All right? This, when it comes out, it's for public use. All right? So when you make your draw from the account, right? You signed your legal name, right? Because you have the debit. All right? That's what I forgot to put up here. All right, but you have the debit. You're the one writing out the debit in exchange for what? A credit. So this side in trust, this is your debit side. And this is your credit side. Now, mind you, this is not some formula that I've compiled and said, hey, debits has to equal credits on this side, like it was some magical thought that I had for myself. Debit side and credit side is the basics of accounting. So when we're talking about debtors and creditors, because people want to be secured parties, persons, and creditors, This is where you find that language. You find debits. This is all debt. This is a person. All of these debts wrapped in one as a person is a debtor. It's a debtor person. Right? Every debt must have an equal credit in order for the account, right, to be fulfilled. So, in order to secure your debt, what must you do? You have to identify the person who executes and administrates the estate. Right? Now, in the Moorish Science Temple of America, we know that this is the liability. This is the principal. Another word for principal is president, presiding officer, the leader. All right, so we call this Grand Sheikh. All right, now that Grand Sheikh is also, so the Grand Sheikh, he's the executor, he's the chief executive official, or as the Moorish Science Temple of America usages states, Grand Sheikh and chairman. Lost my train of thought. All right, so the Grand Sheikh is not only the principal party, but he's also the executive ruler of the adept chamber. So you are the executive ruler, right, of the estate, and you are the chairman. You are the one who speaks on behalf of the principal. So Grand Sheikh and chairman means the liable and equitable party. This is the party. There's a union here. This is the side of possessions, right? Things that are owned. Everything on that side is owned by somebody. This is the side of the possessors. This is the living side of the ledger, where the person, right, can now act in the public as a person, right, with secured interest, secured assets, right? So, for a quick demonstration, how can we? All right, we'll call it Earth. All right, and then I'll speak to that. Okay. Had to put that up there. Let me give y'all a moment to really look at what I put up there, right? All right. So, if everything on this side are assets, right? This is the side where you secure your assets. All right. Now, this is legal title. This says whoever is holding this accepts all liability. All of it. Every last bit of it. There's nothing wrong with that if you're able to do business in that manner, right? But as an individual person, you will assume, you will take all the risks, right? And receive all the gain, all the loss, right? But as an individual, it's you against all the wolves. You have no protection, right? So this legal title is not what you want to have. Well, what do I do with this legal person? How do I turn my legal person into a lawful person? How do I turn my possession into a possessor? How do I do that? You have to give your assets to the bank. You have to take your estate back to the bank and say, hey, listen, I have an account here. And I would like to take all of my assets, right, and pledge it, right, to the bigger trust, the greater trust, in exchange for protections and provisions due to someone who is administrating not individually just for themselves, but officially for themselves and others. Because on this side, you're no longer just administrating your own estate. You're administrating the trust itself and the estates in it. This is why the golden rule is to treat others as you wish to be treated, because you are now a steward. You are the principal, meaning I represent everybody here, right? And at the end of the day, once all is done and you come home and you take off, you're now back in your private space. You are the equitable owner for the works that you've done, securing your estate and making it now credit to the estate. You've given it all to these. By pledging everything legally, right, you've removed the liability that's in the public. You've taken it off yourself. You've entered into agreement with the true establisher of the trust. You've come to the government. You've met in the middle. And then you came into the heart chamber, the innermost chamber of equity. Right? And because you took what was yours and said, here, I would like to give it all for the benefit of all, right? You are now given permissions and provisions and protections in the public. The public now recognizes you as the agent, as the discharging agent. This is where you charge everything, right? And if you see, we have the birth certificate and the social security card, right? They work together, right? But they are two separate documents, right? You've pledged both of these documents, and you've got the name and a new number. All right? These on this side are now as one on this side. All right? So now that you have secured your assets, they will return to you on this side. That's what revenue is. Revenue is everything that you're owed at the end of the transaction. All this is mine. I done paid out, right? The expenses. What were my expenses that I paid out in debits, right, in order to secure my estate? It was the processing fees for the application of the DS-11 form. I had to give up something in order for them to exchange. So I filled out the DS-11. It was I received the book, the card, and expedited services. And so I paid a total of $225 in debits. I gave up debits. I paid my expenses. Right? I paid my expenses to the liable and the equitable owners, right? I said, U.S. Department of State, I am the statesman for the estate, and I know that you too are a statesman. And I know that I must pay the same dues that anyone else must pay, right, in honor for your services. So I gave you $225 to process, to get it started, right? I gave you 225 debits, and in exchange, I now have unlimited credit. So long as I operate in honor, right, and never go out there. Now that I have my secured credit, I'm never supposed to go out there and try to use this, because this no longer is mine to use. If I'm out here using this, once I got that, I'm adding to the debt again. I'm mixing private and public. And this you must not do. Right? You must not mix the private thoughts. Everything that you have in your mind does not need to be exposed. You should not expose yourself to unsecured liability. Now remember, I told you earlier that an asset is a liability. So we had a negative liability, we secured it, made it a positive liability, and then returned it. So now what? I can use this liability in the public and in the private, all on this side. This is the republic. This side brought the public into the private, and then secured it and brought it back out into the public. The republic. Right? And so now that the expenses were done, right? I paid all expenses, right? I pledged my oath, right? I sent affidavit to let them know I know what I'm getting myself into, right? My affidavit says that I know what this is about, right? I have now adorned equitable title, right? So now I can use what's mine out there and what's everyone else's out there, but I must use it in order to benefit everyone. I've received my revenue. I have revenued the court. This is a court account. This is a bank account. Debit and credit accounts, one account. It's the same thing. So now you have revenued out of common law into equity. Right? So purity is the principle. We learn in the Moorish science that John the Baptist represented purity. And we know that white means purity. Purity means God. God means ruler of the land. So John represents that which truly owns the property. That's purity, right? That's the possession. All right? And that love and that purity had to come forth to pave the way for love. Okay? Love is equity. We know that love is equity because when the law in and of itself cannot operate justly, equity steps up, says, I am here to perform. I am here to give remedy where there were none. This is one of our people. Truly, they are the sons and daughters of the estate. They are not only are they the beneficiaries, but they are the executive officers and administrators of their estates and everyone else's estates. And we are going to protect them. We are going to protect them. Now, how do we know that? This is a passport. This is a passport card. When we say passport, this is a passport. All right. This now look, it's a book. Here, let me remember. Everything's about books. So we just did a bookkeeping entry, by the way, right? In a general sense, we went over the basics, right? Initiating, fulfilling, and ending an account. We went through a complete cycle. Okay? This is a book. This is a bookkeeping. You have become identified as the bookkeeper, the keeper of the book. Your name is written in the book. Your name is, not only is your name written in the book, right? But there is an angel out front, one of God's messengers, secretaries. And what does this angel say? The Secretary of the United States of America hereby requests all whom it may concern to permit the citizen national of the United States named herein to pass without delay or hindrance, and in case of need, to give all lawful aid and protection. You're recognized over here as one of the heirs who has stood up upright and has begun to administrate the estate. You and God are one. Now, your name is written in the book, in the sacred book. In the Quran, you have become the Word. You are now the Holy Breath. What you say is authorized from God. Now, what is God? God is United States of America. In my state of mind, I'm an American. First and foremost, I'm an American. And I find myself as an American here in Pennsylvania. That is my state. So my nation is America. My state is Pennsylvania. So I'm a statesman. I'm a national statesman. Of what? Of the estate. This is where the state and the man become one. This is the statesman. You are no longer operating in your personal in your personal capacity. You're operating in your real estate capacity, in your official, in your professional person. When you do business with your passport, anything that you use, anything that you were using that social security number for, when you do it with this, you are given provisions. This is your key. All right? When you pledged all your debt collateral to the state, right? You filed your UCC-1. You secured it. You didn't give it in the public. You can do it in the public, but remember, you did it in the private. And so it's brought back out into the public. Already ready already. I have a public UCC-1 filing for $800 billion. But this one here says I have unlimited. I pledged my little bit and got even more. I gave my little bit of what I had, threw it in the pot. Now I can use I got way more pull. You have way more pull. So we've looked at the balance sheet. We're talking now about the initiating statement. Where did it start? Where is the initiating statement? My affidavit was my initiating or my operating statement. When I applied to my government and I let it be known by name and principles who and what I am, that initiated it. When I filled out that application DS-11 form, that initiated it. That's my initiating or operating statement, or my financial statement of account. Remember, it's financial. We talk about debts, debits and credits. That's finance. You should never, when you hear debits and credits, you should never not think about finances. It's always finance. Is the balance sheet the same as the ledger? The balance sheet is you looking at a picture of the ledger. The income statement is like you are watching a movie from one part to the next part of the ledger. And then the cash flow statement, right? The cash flow statement, that's your financial position. Now you know what you can do and you can invest in. You have the total, you have planned well. You have been able to consider the finances as an investor. You have a better financial understanding of your position with which to now take these things and go invest. That's your cash flow statement. Oh, well, now that we know what is what, who is who, where it's at, now we know where we got our authority from, so we can definitely see where everything that we couldn't see here, we can follow, and now we can see what we may have missed. Oh, damn, we done looked at the past in order to foretell and project a future investment. That's what we're talking about here. That's what this is all that Noble Drew Ali was telling you. I promise y'all, Drew Ali was not out there talking none of that trash that these nigga Moors are out here talking. At all. At all. The consultations, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So, again, we see this whole three plate, right? On this side, you have one person. On this side, you have two persons. They're all one. So we still have that trustee, the trustor, the trustee, the beneficiary. This is the beneficiary. This is the trustee. This is the trust. This is the trustor. And you can find the trustor right here. Always in equity. Always in equity. where you find the trustor. The trustee meets the trustor right here in the heart, in equity. But again, we have this three play, right? John the Baptist is purity. Jesus is love, right? Muhammad is manifest, right? John is the water. That's the word. John is the water, right? He's blue. This is blue. We playing colors here. So John is the water. Water is blue. When the fire comes, I will be your water. All right? This is when the fire comes. Love is blood. Blood is red. So we already have our red and blue. All right? But we also have our bottom line. It's the earth. It's green. The finance is green. This is Muhammad. What was Muhammad's favorite color in Islam? Why is green held to the highest standard? Why are we supposed to... The heart chakra is what? It's green. We honor all ancient and divine prophets. Right? So now, mind you, red, blue, and green, light combined creates white. Not pigments, but actual light, red, blue, and green. Red, blue, and green creates white light. Jurali came to the Moors first and foremost, and where is that at? All right, so all right, there we go. So Jurali initially came to the Moorish Americans and he showed them red and green. He showed them red and green. But then, in order to perfect it all, Jurali, it went from the Moorish Temple of Science, red, white, and green, to the Moorish Science Temple of America, red, white, and blue. And he told you that he was taking you from here into the American government. We ain't going to sit here and play. As a matter of fact, let me show you. This is real as it gets. Oh no, don't tell me I misplaced. Oh man. I don't know. Right, that would have been the first thought. I would have put it there. Alright, well. Oh, right. I might have put it on my other two. Hold on, y'all. So, we know, for those of you who follow along with this Moorish science ideology, and most assuredly, the more studied you are, in it, the more you will see these things that I'm presenting to you, right? But the majority of us know that Noble Drew Ali came in with the red and green, and he left out with the red, white, and blue. Because Drew Ali draped the Moorish flag over one of the I don't know if he threw it over the son or the daughter, but he threw the American flag over the other and said, "Now, this day, we are a nation." So Noble Drew Ali used ritual not only with this flag, but with the American flag, and said, "This is one unit." All right? Noble Drew Ali was a professional American. The word prophet breaks down to the word profession, L. A profession, L, is one who speaks the law forward, or the law, whatever the law is, right? If I'm a professional banker, then banking law is my law, right? Profession, L, professor of God, professor of law, whatever the case may be, right? So prophet just means profession. All right, so and a professional what? A professional businessman who deals in finances professionally would understand how to foretell and forecast financial investments based on the economic times of the past, present. He can project into the future. This is what a professional accountant would do. This is what a professional accountant would be trained to do. I would come to a professional accountant and say, "Hey, I have this trust. I would like to pay you out of my trust in order to present for me a plan, a trust and estate plan that would best suit me." Everybody out here trying to get their trust and all. Become the professional accountant. Become the one who not only establishes the trust, you understand how it works, so you can assist others. Right, the right words. The right words, jurisdiction, juris, that which is right or correct. And again, we just seen the demonstration. Everything on the right-hand side is where you want to be. Diction, words, jurisdiction, jurisdiction. You start looking at the language as compound words, man. Everything in this language, you take two things to bring them together to make one. That's trust law. For all those people out there who got an issue with English and think that English is just some bad spellcast, I think that it has a positive benefit as well. I know jurisdiction means correct word. And if you don't have the right word, you have no access. Access is control. Not ownership, control. I have control. Inside, I own it all. Outside, I control it all. And they don't mix. Right? You secure your party. The word person, personality, personage. Right? When you say party, party means more than one person. So party is another word for person. And we have now recognized, if you haven't, I'll just make it clear, that the word person also stands for account. The word account and the word person are interchangeable. They even come together and say agent. An agent is a person of account, one that can account, one who has the ability to accountability, one who has the ability to credibility. Right? Fuck with these words, yo. I love Harry Potter. Amen. So Jurali also teaches us that we have the secrets of the Magi's, according to his literature. Right? Well, what's a Magi? A Magi is one who uses their words to create in their environment. From inside comes outside just by the fact that they've used some type of word, symbol that they put out there. You manifested a thought in symbols that are consistent with the outside world, right? So, I know I'm a magician. I know Jesus was a magician. What else do we call a magi? Majesty. I am the majesty. I am majestic. But guess what else I am? I'm a lawman. What is a magician called? What is a magi in law? I am a magistrate. Magistrate is a lawkeeper. I'm a magistrate because I'm local. I'm a judge when I have to go on, when I have to go on a greater scale, you become judge. You're always the justice. But locally, yes, I'm the magistrate. I'm the one who's out here. I'm Merlin. I am a Gemini. You on it, bro? Gemini Master Communicator. Absolutely. I'm a Gemini. Gemini Sun. That's what I lead with. Virgo Moon and Capricorn Rising. My crown of authority is in Capricorn. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Right. Cap shit off with the Capricorn from the knees, right? Knees up. But yeah. All right. Now I remember what I was looking for. So Noble Jurali lets us know that this information is information that is used by the Magi. So in some way, shape, fashion, or form, the magistrate would understand these principles that I just spoke. Why? Because the magistrate is an accountant. Anyone who is in a position of authority is an accountable person. You are an accountant whether you like it or not. You are the one to be taken, you are held in account. I would rather be held with limited liability on the right side of the ledger than to be held in account on the left side where all liability just falls on whoever is claiming. So you talk. Word. Great study, and I have to get back on it. Absolutely, man. It's just what it is, man. We here. And I welcome, at this particular point in time, I welcome anyone and everyone to this Moorish Divine International Movement. All right? As long as you follow, as long as you have the national character, right? And the character is within, it's not outside at all, it starts inside. As long as you can present to me the national character of a Muslim, I will accept you as a Moorish American. And if you do not wish to identify as Moorish American, I will still accept you as a creditor American. Because that's all Moorish American means in the Moorish paradigm. Moor means love and Ish means man. Moor means love and Ish means pertaining to. Yeah, I'm always pertaining to love. Love is in the heart. I'm always pertaining to equity. 100. Right. But all right, here we go. I want to read this to you. Noble Drew Ali said that we was here for peace, not destruction. He said that we was trying to bring us back into the family and nations. He wasn't talking none of this rah-rah of us versus them at all. At all. He said, man, look, those who oppose the whole got to go the fuck home. If you can't identify as one of the people in America, take your ass home. When you talk about the Europeans got to go, those who got to go are those who do not operate under true American wholeness. Because whiteness in America, right, identifies Africa, Asia, and Europe, not just Europe alone. If you can't see yourself as one in the whole, take your ass home. Right? You see, we got love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice for all. Absolutely. For all. Not for some, but for all. When man honors man, he honors the law. That's every mind. That ain't some mind. That ain't European minds or some other minds. No. When mind honors mind, it honors the law. I meet you in your mind. I don't care what you look like, what you think like. What state of mind do you have? What statement do you make? What do you bring out of your mind into the motherfucking physical? That's what I'm concerned about. I'm concerned more about your word than how the fuck you look. Right? And then a man born with one leg and two arms got the same heart that you got. Right? It ain't never about what's on the outside with me. With your heart like. What BG say? Wow, what your heart beat for? Swear. But that's just me. You won't find too many like me. Hopefully this will, encourage other Moorish Americans that look like me, right, to come correct and start reaching out to all other people. You know what I mean? But right now, I say with assurance that I'm firm on this. I've never, in all the years that I've studied Islam, true Islam, not people and Islam, but Islam is in Islamic principles. Nowhere does it tell you that a man is better or lesser than a man based on what he looked like or where he came from. It doesn't. You'll never see that in real Islam. You don't see that. Not in real Islam. In Islam, you'll never see that. In all of these renditions, you see that foreign stuff. Drew Ali was talking about to be wary of those foreign Muslims. A foreign Muslim is any Muslim that looks at another human being and doesn't see him as a Muslim. Muslim means creditor. Muslim means national citizen. Think of it that way. So how the fuck are you gonna go over here and say, oh, your skin is lighter than mine, you're not a national citizen? Or hey, you got a passport, but we're not the same. People be going to court, right? Trying to go to state and federal courts, and they get them filling out the little cover sheets and shit, talking about diversity of citizenship, right? And we're different nations, nigga. If the shit happened in Pennsylvania, nigga, you in Pennsylvania and they in Pennsylvania. Stop with that dumb diversity of citizenship. The diversity of citizenship is within the nation, man. You're a national citizen. I would hope that you are identified as a national citizen, and they are not identified as national citizens, and so they bear the burden of liability because they don't have an official capacity. All right, real shit, man. Like I'm telling y'all stuff that I've done. I know I went into court trying to, fill out this paperwork, talk about, oh, this is a diversity of citizenship issue. I'm a national and they're not. And I'm telling you, I got the paperwork that told me that, basically plaintiff, I was in error because it told you, it says, and again, you should be able to learn from your mistakes. But it says something to the effect of, Davis L. claims that he's of a different nation, yet he's a resident, of Pennsylvania. Like, I had to really sit and think on that. Right. I'm not a resident, but my person is. Both of my persons are residents of Pennsylvania. My lower person is a resident of the district. That's why any ID that you get outside of your passport has an address on it. That's a district locality. That's a federal. You can be seen. Boom. My passport doesn't have that. My passport has the same address, by the way. Because I ain't do no shifty shit neither. You know what I'm saying? I give them my address. Right? It's like, yo, man, we got to really understand what we're doing here. People out here beating y'all in the head, man. Beating the people in the head, man. And it took a weird nigga like me. My apologies. I'm on. Let me see here. There we go. All right. So I'm going to read to you from the Moorish Guide newspaper articles, right? Number 25, called Masterpiece of Religious Literature, Secrets of Other Creeds Revealed, all right? And this was penned by Drew Ali. So, all right, so I'm going to read this out, right? The Prophet, Noble Drew Ali, has spent many hours preparing the latest edition of the Quran. Quran means claim, by the way. Which will be a masterpiece of religious literature. Religion is the economy of human life. Just take, and literature is doctrine, so just trust law. Religious literature means trust law, right? To Americanize the Oriental idea of Islam involves many changes that are more or less negative to the main purpose of the Islamic religion. So Noble Drew Ali already told you that he knows that the way that he's about to bring this Islam is not going to be consistent with what everyone thinks of Islam. He just said he's going to Americanize Eastern Islam. I'm going to Westernize Eastern philosophy. Bring it all as one. Right? Such changes are carefully considered with the idea to avoid changing the complexion of the original text of this Quran. The philosophy. Philosophy means the love of knowledge. The philosophy of the ancient prophets, professionals, is the main initiative in the compilation of the Quran. No thoughts of propaganda enter this work, as has been the case of many formal religious works, such as the Bible and other books of creed. And other books of creed, such as the Bible and other books of creed. If Drew Ali, like Elijah Muhammad, desired for us to use this specifically out front, he would have given us this. He said that we honor this. The information that he's giving us in the Quran that he's going to present has all of this information down to the nitty-gritty, along with the Bible as well. So we know that he said that the Bible was tampered with. He's telling you that this, I'll let him tell you what he's telling you, right? This is not to knock any of these books. This is just to show evidence that there's been fiddling with, distractions that take people away from the truth of the information, of the trust law that it is. Right? The sole purpose of the prophet in giving such a message to the world. So it's not just to the Moorish Americans. We can get off, well, all of Americans to me are Moorish Americans, but nonetheless, right? It's not just for the so-called Negroes, blacks, and coloreds who are coming into this understanding. Drew Ali was a prophet. He was a professional American. He represented all Americans. All Americans. He was the nation's professional, authorized representative, is what he was. Yes, they're all trust law. That's the point. They're all trust law. And Drew Ali is telling us that the trust law information in these books were muddy because they're veiled over with that boogie woogie shit. You know? And then even with certain things, it's calling Allah the Father, right? And then you have mainstream Muslims who will go at your neck. The Quran says, whoop, 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 whoop. All right, look here, nigga. Father in Christianity equals grantor in Islam. They're both the same. You see what I'm saying? So Noble Drew Ali is letting it know that what he's bringing just uses it all so that we can see, we can pull from all of them and see it's the same thing for real. It's the same thing. As a Moorish American, you don't have to be a Muslim. Look, Muslims use all of the religious books. All of them. All of them. Me being all up in the Bible doesn't mean that I'm any less of a Muslim or any more than non-Muslim. So you could come in with the Bible and use the Bible and say I'm a Muslim. Because Christ is a Muslim. Because it just means creditor. Right? I could go into church right now and change my whole verbiage up according to the rules and usages of Christianity and still be in honor. Some of the best Moors can ride up in them churches. Though we are returning Christian law, we are returning Christianity back to its rightful owners. Christianity teaches common law. It speaks to people being born debtors, born in sin. It says that people are born strawmen. In Christianity, your straw man is you, and they're coming for you. In Islam, your straw man is your lower self, right? And you must bring it. You must bring it with you. God said, hey, you have debits and credits. Bring your debits with you. Give them to me so I can transact those for you, turn those out for you, exchange those for you. So we're returning that ideology of being born as dependents of the estate to those who desire it. We don't, we don't argue, right? I'm not going to sit here and tell you that your way is not right for you. It may not be right for me, but what's right for me might not be right for you. This is the First Amendment privilege. Hey, look, man. Lakum dinakum waliyad. To you be your way and to me be mine. But I'm not going to impose. I'm not going to act like a lot of these Muslims, these mainstream Muslims that I've come in contact with, who like to disrespect the Moorish identity. And I understand where they're coming from, because the people who are presenting this Moorish science don't know what the fuck they talk about to begin with, right? They don't know the ins and outs. But anyway, I have to come at these brothers like, yo, you know what I'm saying? Like, I would love to engage in dialogue with any Sunni Muslims. I am a Shia and Sufi, but I'm willing to accept. I'm willing to come amongst you and press palm and discuss what it is about this Moorish science, right, that you may need to really get a grasp on, so that you Sunni Muslims can see where Islam truly is in this interpretation. But if y'all don't want to hear it, the fuck y'all. I ain't got nothing. Lakum dinakum waliyad din. Right? I come in on it, right? I come in on it, but I still, right? If you come to destroy, then I will destroy. But I come in peace, brother. I come in Islam. I come in equity. I come in justice. Right? Going on. Hold on. Let me get back to this, y'all. The sole purpose of the prophet in giving such a message to the world is to save fallen humanity. When a compiler attempts to inject propaganda into a work of this kind, there arises a need to cover the true text in order to prevent a clash with the truth and ideas involved in such propaganda. Former works of this kind have either hindered or helped the nations proportionately to the adherence to the truth as to the original purpose of keeping the ignorant in such a state. It is hard to resist the temptation to use this medium for gain. So he's calling this Moorish, this Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple of America, he is calling it, what did he just call it? A medium. This is a medium. This is a middle path. It's a medium. All right. Hence, many of the former treatises on works of this kind have been the means to foster ideas of the unscrupulous, wherein they desire to use religious influence for gain, such as all of these Moorish Science Temples of America that I see today, and all of these little offshoots and shit. These little soft sits and all of that. They're using it for their own gain. You know, their leaders, their prophets aren't right. Their national, their commanders in chief aren't right, and therefore the whole organization is not right. Right? Oh, that's the sis. What up, dude? I had to come back and see. Islam. Please reach out to me whenever. All right, let me see here. Listen, the many secrets known to the prophet that could be used for the salvation of the nation were either left out or colored to an extent that their meaning was made void. So he's talking about the works of former prophets or professionals who came to teach the people, the information has been murky, watered down, right? Such is not the case with this edition of the Quran. All the secrets of the ages known to man are put into this work. So he just told me 47 chapters. I got all the keys to whatever's going on in the stars. Hold on. He just said the stars, but what else? The interpretation of marriage relations. The understanding of the span of life and other such as has been kept from the Occidental world are in this book boldly brought out. Boldly brought out. Plain. There's no... You can read this on a literal level with an accounting mind and see what it is. Absolutely. The Quran, Americanized as it will be, can be bought in a few weeks. It will be sent to all governors of the Moorish Science Temple of America. The governors. So the governors of your state have a medium of trust law that they use when they administrate the estate in office. And Jurali is telling you that his works are going to show you the same stuff. So when you go and you look into your governing body, your states, and you look to your Constitution, the U.S. Constitution, you'll be able to see the same structure. The same structure. We're supposed to be coming out of Sunday school. Sunday school Sunday, right? We come out of Sunday school. Why? Because the next business day is Monday. We're supposed to now be in the temples. We're supposed to be out in the world Monday through Friday doing the work. Your temple has become your state. Your temple has become your state. If I'm going to the Moorish Science Temple of America today, and they're not teaching me how to be a better citizen, if they're not teaching me accounting, if they're not operating as a union where it's allowing for me to invest and contribute in exchange for provisions such as jobs and healthcare, like Drew Ali said that it's supposed to be doing, you won't catch me in there. Fuck them. Embezzlers of the faith is the charge. Fuck them. Fuck them. They out here talk about Europeans versus Moors. Fuck them. I ain't got time for that. I don't have time for that. They out here telling you to go and create your own empire. Fuck them. I don't have time for that. My prophet told me everything was done already and said, this is the pattern to follow. I already gave it to you. There's no reason for me to go out here and try to establish new trusts, new estates, none of that shit. None of that shit, right? Look. Right, so I'm going to just go over a couple of things, right, and then I'm going to close us out, right? So I've noticed in this movement, I've been in this movement active since 2012, right? And when I came into this movement, with the intentions of exposing it as a fraud. Someone told me this was like the Nation of Islam. This is where they got their stuff from. And from 2000 to 2012, I've been an active student of Islam. And so I said, I already know that the Nation of Islam, they have Islamic principles, but there are just factors in Islam that aren't lining up, particularly when they're talking about your skin tone or your land, wherever you come from, that if you are from somewhere other than, that you cannot be a Muslim. I already knew that all Muslims were white, because white just means purity. White means without debt. Your slate is clean, pure and clean. Islam teaches you to come in clean hands. When you purify yourself in Islam, if I am going to make wudu, ghusl, a tayammum, the first thing I do when I go to purify my whole body is I purify my hands right to left 3 times. 3 times? 3 times. Mind, to keep my mind, was to keep your heart, mind pure and clean, right? Your body clean with water, something like that, right? Yeah. I'm coming in purity and love already. I'm coming as the principle and equity. I'm coming in equity to do equity because the equity is Islam. It's all in the rituals, right? When I shoot up like this, I'm saying that I'm the king. I'm the prophet. I'm the ruler. I'm the representative. We all do that, right? The sheikh or the imam, Allahu Akbar. What does everybody do? They imitate. Allahu Akbar. So you telling me that everything that you do, I'm supposed to do. So I can't see why I'm not what you are. I don't have to be you, but I am what you are. I am what you are. But Drew Ali, right? So this information right here, this right here, right? Drew Ali took all of the national collateral debt of the people, the time, their energy, their labor, right? And he 1099 that shit. I hear Moors out there talk about, that's that sovereign citizen stuff. You out there trying to use 1099s, and Drew Ali never sent out any notices to people, and y'all just out there doing all of this sovereign citizen stuff. I'm like, yo, my nigga, this is a 1099 right here. Fuck you, man. Fuck ass little boy, right? Well, hold on, I ain't even done though. Johnny never sent out notices, man. Y'all just doing whatever. Y'all just get to the chopper. Get to the chopper. It's a fucking notice. What you mean Drew Ali wasn't out here doing this stuff? This is what you're supposed to be doing. You're supposed to be executing and administrating the fucking estate. In commerce. As an enterprise. What do you mean Drew Ali went out here doing that? Or I had someone tell me, damn, can't remember how it goes, but he was talking about that only happens in under military powers, and Drew Ali wasn't under no military powers, right? I'm like, nigga, Drew Ali set us up he got us prepared for the 1933 hold on. He got us ready for the emergency war powers. But hold on, because there's something. Damn, man. Gotta follow it, right? Let me see. And you know what? It might not even. Right. It might have been in the oral statements of prophecy. Yeah. All right. Hold on. And I'm also able to go through the oral statements and prophecies, and I can recognize what is and what ain't from the prophet. Right. All of this is from the prophet. All of those oral statements are from Drew Ali. The interpretations may not be from Drew Ali. You have to always interpret it according to equity. Always. What is he talking about? Right. What do we talk about? Right. Ali, man, honestly, bro, yo, I can't. Cause I came into this movement blind, and I met the prophet, and I seen that everything that everybody was talking about, what he was talking about. There are going to be new Moors that are going to come in with their eyes wide open, seeing and knowing, that are going to take you old Moors, seat you in the back, and carry out my law. Yes, here we go. Word up. All right. So, on authority of Brother I. Cook Bay, said that the Holy Prophet said, I am a general as well as a prophet. Isn't a general a military post official? Oh, well, maybe he wasn't talking about that. Hold on. I was Muhammad. Oh, he talking about the one who overthrew the Byzantine Empire? Who ran a campaign? A military campaign? You telling me we're not under emergency banking, emergency war powers? You telling me Drew Ali ain't know? Hold on, let me keep going though, right? I was Muhammad. Muhammad defeated the Roman Empire. When I conquered Rome, we went in with the sword. You could hear the sword swinging. I cut the head of Rome off, pulled down the flags, sent letters to the other European governments, and asked them, was I right? You telling me that Drew Ali didn't just tell you that he sent notices? Affidavits to other governments? Letting them, hey, are these principles right? When I came over here and I said that the common law does not come before, that equity is king, am I right? That's what he told them. He said, y'all dealing with all this feudal law. We got rid of all that feudal law. Now I'm coming to you all. And I'm saying, is equity the right way? They said, yes, Muhammad, you are right. Just let us have a place to live. Drew Ali says that I went into Rome with 72,000 men. We just know that that's a 9 right there. All right. When I ran out of men, I reached down, picked up a handful of sand, threw it up in the air, and when it came down, there were soldiers created on camels. So he said he took some. I had credit. When I pledged the credit, I was able to pick something up, throw it up, and have even more than I had before. Amen. Islam. And I stand on this shit right here, right? This shows commitment to truth, right? If my own mother is not right, I'm not gonna let her get by. Truth respects no station. Either you do right or you don't. I cannot intercede. I'm only accountable for what I'm doing in my portion. If you don't get it right, That's on you. That's not on anyone else but you. So I'm telling you all to learn accounting and to learn trust law. Get these words in your head. You know, take your time, but get to it. Get to it, yo. Right? Make it make sense. I'm doing my best to teach y'all how it makes sense to me. Right? If the way that I express my understanding, or if my draw leads to proper conclusion, you know, then please take of it what you will and refine it even more. If you could break it down some more. You know what I mean? I'm trying to speak, I'm not saying that, I'm trying to speak to the child in you. I'm trying to use words that speak to the child in you. I'm trying to tell the child in you that the man outside is there to protect the child inside. So I'm speaking to the child in you, the beneficiary in you. I'm speaking to the fool in you. And the fool is not a negative term. The fool is the very first. It is the primary card in the tarot deck. It's creativity. Thought, which is the cause of it all. Right? Oh yeah, and again, I want to just make this known, right? This is to show and prove. Again, if the Moorish Sons Temple of America is not teaching its members specifically that they need to get their passports because those are their national identification cards, and then that they need to go into the world and do business that way, you know, with the passports, and that some of them, according to their business of study, need to go into government as well, right? If that's not what I'm being taught, man, you're not. I don't. Real shit. Because the prophet told us that the movement, the spirit, the truth is eternal, right? And that the temple that we build is on the inside anyway. In 1929, that whole national organization, Moorish Science Temple of America, lost all legal title in the crash. Drew Ali already secured it. That's why he left. Drew Ali already secured the nation's trust with that 1099 authority. Authority means jurisdiction. That's what it means. Authority. That's a warrant of authority. That's a grant of authority. So he already did all of that and got us prepared and showed us what we needed to do whenever this emergency war powers things would do what it needed to do and bring us under Emergency Banking Relief Act. Oh yeah, Drew Ali, this is honest to my big brother, honest to myself in the past, present, and future, right? So when you look into the newspaper articles, the Moorish Guide newspaper articles, you will come across a newspaper article titled, "Think This Over, You Moors." Let me see. We're going up? Yeah, we're going up. Oh, my baby done. All right. I'm going to show you that Drew Ali he told us to look towards the Emergency Banking Act. Again, I don't understand why these grand sheiks out there who put their chests out like that, right, and act like they just did. I don't understand how they don't see this and why they're not operating under this. Mind you, I'm more than ever. I was not in the temple, and I've been in the temple the whole time, right? I had to come and see. I'm like, damn, y'all, don't we got the same information? We all got the same information. Y'all niggas don't see this shit? Anyway, it says all sheiks. Let me qualify it so that we know. Drew Ali is teaching us at this particular time. He's telling us how to do our banking, how to secure our finances. That's what this whole newspaper article is, him laying out our cash flow statement. All right. All sheiks, grand sheiks, must prepare for the prophet before he comes to visit them. Must see to it that all is clean and imperfection, as clean and imperfection, credit, equity. Or otherwise don't arrange to have his presence, because he's the principal. If things aren't right in equity, then the principal can't come forward. All members must pay from 25 cents to 50 cents weekly towards the emergency fund. Emergency fund. Why would you establish an emergency fund? Because you're predicting that there's an emergency coming. And you want to make sure that you got a nest egg that's going to carry you until things get right. This fund will increase so that it will soon amount to the grand sum of $1,000. So he's saying that everyone who continues to contribute, right, who continues to pledge to the national state trust, right, each of them will have a grand sum of $1,000. Can you imagine how much $1,000 is in that time? And that every member was saving up, right? They were putting it to our bank. We had the national state Binga State Bank, right? So we're securing our own finances here, right? He's saying that everybody's going to have up to $1,000, right? That's called financial power. He's showing you how to invest. That is, if you are loyal to your governments. The emergency fund goes into the bank. So imagine your mom and dad had you, right? And then they registered your property as an estate. And then that estate was taken to the treasury and given a financial value. This is what we're looking at here, right? And then it goes into the bank, right? The treasurer, U.S. Treasury, the treasurer will tend to the responsibility of seeing that the money is in the bank, yes, and under the name of the Moorish Science Temple of America Finance. So these days, your finance is under the vital records of the Commonwealth or state that you're in the treasury that it utilizes, and the Federal Reserve banks. Because remember, you got balance, public, private, and republic. All right? When needed. So if I say when needed, am I saying that this may or may not happen? Or am I suggesting that there is an imminent need for this? I'm teaching you this because I am foretelling. I truly understand that this is a foretelling. When I say, Jurali is going to say when needed. All right? When needed, now mind you, he was just telling us about banking, right? And how to secure it, right? And what to do with it, right? How to when needed, act according to the law pertaining to the procedure of performing an emergency act. House Joint Resolution 192, Public Law 7310. Drew Ali said that when the time comes, everything that I've done, do that according to those procedures. Operate under those. That's where your salvation lies, in equity, because it's a relief. We went off the gold standard. We went on intangibles, debits and credits. They're no longer. It's thoughts now. All right? And if you can't control your thoughts, you're going to be fucked in the game. Jali said, look, this is how we control our tangibles here, but there's going to be a time when you could have to secure your intangibles. And you secure your assets, your debts, right, under equity, under the Emergency Bank and Relief Act. Drew Ali said it. Now I can read the rest of that, and you'll see that Drew Ali done told the people in the temples, even then, that they was fucking up the money. That they better get themselves together, because the way they're acting financially, they're being identified as embezzlers, not true morals. I mean, there's embezzlers of the faith, traitors of the trust, the nation, traitors to the cause, the trust, and the nation, not allowed to share in all of the Moorish honors. I had a couple of tough Tony Grand Sheiks come at me, talk about, oh, I've been in the temple for years, you don't know what you're talking about. We were having a discussion. We were talking about white. I don't know why, but a lot of these Grand Sheiks don't want to identify. They don't want to tell Moorish Americans they're white. They'll tell them all day they're not black. But they refuse to tell these Moors that they're white. So I'm sitting here like, yo, bro, you know, white means purity, purity means God, God means ruler of the land. This is possession, right? And I'm like, Drew Ali said that we are the true heirs of the present Moroccan Empire. This nigga sounded off like, that ain't in our lessons. You don't know what you talk about. Drew Ali ain't say that. Imagine, we were talking about Egypt. So I had the sister who was on the line, right? I said, sister, can you read chapter 47, verse 6? She says, the Moabites from the land of Moab who received permission from the pharaohs of Egypt to settlers, remember this is trust law, and inhabit, that's an estate, Northwest Africa. They were the founders and are the true possessors of the present Moroccan Empire. So I had her read it. Don't listen to me, nigga. You a Grand Sheik all in this stuff. This is what you talking to me like I'm lesser than you. Like I don't know this stuff. I know this stuff. And when I said that we were, Drew Ali is telling us that we're the true possessors, we're the rulers of the land, as stewards, of course. This nigga, I'm just, whatever, this nigga, I mean, so when he heard it, he was like, you know what, I'm wrong, he corrected himself and all of that. Humbled him. Like, don't talk to me like I don't know what I'm talking about when you're the one in official capacity and you don't know the fuck you talking about. The brother came and talked about, man, I ain't just one of these self-appointed, grand sheiks. I done went through the order. I got years. I'm like, nigga, I'm one of these self-appointed because motherfucking chapter 1 told me I'm already a thought of the law manifest in the flesh and ordained as the fucking Lord of all the planet of soul and manifest, nigga. Fuck is you talking about? I'm a law, nigga. Me. Hey, nigga, what are you talking about? Because they be huffing and puffing. Chapter 10 told me I don't even need you, nigga. I don't need you as an intercessor for me to come to Allah. So I don't need the Moorish Science Temple of America, right, as a fucking medium. I could just go right to the state now. I don't need you, nigga. I'm a priest. Chapter 10 said I'm a priest like you a priest, nigga. Chapter 10 said we're all priests. We're already ordained. What are you talking about? If I can think, nigga, I can save myself. I don't need you. This is why I'm the new Moor coming back in. I'm coming in. Like these dudes, they really be huffing and puffing, man. I'm like, damn, man, I gotta go to war with these brothers of Arabia talking crazy about us. I gotta deal with these brothers and sisters here in America that don't really understand what we're talking about, and I gotta come against y'all niggas. What? Fuck you mean? All of them, man. So I'm just here to let you all know, right, that Drew Ali is telling you that all these things that he is, so the fuck are you. Your nationality card is going to change in your pocket. Why is niggas still walking around with them little flimsy joints? No pictures on it, no update. The Moorish Science Temple of America is a religious organization, Rotarian in complexion, meaning that it adapts to the fucking times. My nationality card changed according to the times. Says nationality on there. And has my state citizenship on there too. My nationality is American. And I just so happen to be a Muslim American. And my statehood is in Pennsylvania. So I'm a citizen of Pennsylvania and a national of the United States. I'm a national citizen. I'm a secure party and creditor. Fiduciary, trustee, administrator. I'm the executive ruler. What was the name given to the child? Davis L. Nigga, last name first. Last name first is the name given to the child. Because the child is no longer a child. The child is now a grown-up. You no longer lead with your first name. The name that you place out of your mouth takes liability. If I say Brandon, I myself act as the debtor and take all the capacity. I'm the beneficiary. I'm the dependent. If I say Davis L first, that's the whole family. I'm an official. My passport has my last name first. What was the name given to the child? The family name. American is my family name according to the Free National Constitution. That's the name that was given. That's also the name that can't be used by those who were slaves to sin. Sin is dead. If you're using the Social Security number, that person, right, that always has the first name first. You're operating in debt. You're operating in sin. You can't use the family name if you're out here running around unsecured using your first name. You're saying you're an individual, not one of the family. So the name that was given was state citizen, national state, nation state citizen. Right? All these keys that all these grand sheiks act like they done went through an adept chamber to get. I paid my dues by paying attention. I'm here to show you all that we can all get there. And I use these principles in court. I use these same principles that in court. Stood in equity. Didn't argue, didn't fight, didn't run, stayed in control, kept composure. Say, yeah, I'll take it all in equity. Right? I agreed with my adversary all the way to court. Right? Kept tabs too. All my filings. Showing, I know that you violate. These are all the smack. Every time you smack me, these are the violations. And I brought this to court. I agree with you. And when we got to the judge, I said, you know what? I'll accept all the charges. Why? Because it's already on the record that I'm not liable. If you run over me, you run over yourself. I got all the evidence that y'all did me wrong. Now I'm going to forgive you. I'm going to do equity. I'm going to forgive you. Now you must forgive me. That's mercy. I accepted it all. I understood that the estate took the hit. When I was talking to the judge, it was just me and the judge. The way that the judge was talking, I knew things were different. I was in a courtroom dressed like this, with shorts on and a green turban. You're not even supposed to be in court with shorts on. I'm like here, and mind you, I was shooting signs, but I wasn't do all. No, I'm draped in white, and I got the bottom line on my mind. Money on my mind, yeah. I've got equity. Equity surrounds my crown. My green turban is equity. It's on my crown. And it's in my heart. He knew what he was looking at. He knew. This is all you need right here. Get this and then do all your business with this. And when people tell you, oh, well, we don't know if you could do that, you act this religiously as a Muslim. Religiously. Right? I am duty bound to only ever operate with a professional identification. I can't use the social security number anymore. I have Allah's protection now. I can only do things in the name of Allah, which is the national government, meaning the federal and the state combined is one. Right? Let them know that. Jobs, utility bills, whatever the case may be. And if these people do not desire to do business with you, find Muslim banks. That's my next thing. I'm trying to find myself a Muslim bank. Why? Because Islamic trust law, I'm all the fuck for it. It's all about equity. It's all about equity. Really, it's common law and equity. Right? It's like, here is the law, but when the law is harsh, know that Allah is most merciful, right? Oft turning to you, oft forgiving. That's equity. That's equity. Honorability is equity. When I say your honor, I'm saying you are one in equity. When I say you noble or noblesse, I'm saying you are one in equity. You are secured. You are secured in your word, in your bond. You have limited liability. You are insured, and you have the backing. You have the sure backing of the surety. your national and state government. There's no need for us to be out here doing none of that church shit that's still going on to this very day in the MSTA. Again, I'm not speaking down on the MSTA. The MSTA as a garb has fallen. It has served its purpose. It is no more. It is now inside of you. The Moorish Science Temple of America was an established, it had a beginning. When? 1913. It had a beginning. And things that are subject to beginning and ending are subject to times and cycles. So that garb came off. It served its purpose well. It taught you to think and to look for it. Look for what you once saw in the physical. Find it in yourself and then go back out and see it in all things. I'm telling you all that you are the Moorish Science Temple of America, right? Which is a person. It was a secure person. The Moorish Science Temple of America operated as a secure party. A group of people whose finances were secure. That is the person. That was the person. The legal person was the Moorish Temple of Science. And the equitable person became the Moorish Science Temple of America. Got a whole new number, 1010-5905. Got a whole new number to do business, right? Civically, but now it has a religious overtone. Y'all don't follow that? I see it. I see it. Right? So I'm just letting y'all all know again. All of your leaders in these organizations, if they're telling you to give them money, give us money. If you're paying into any, whether it's the MSTA, the Nation of Islam, the Red Temple, or the Red Lodge, the Blue Lodge, whatever the case may be, if you're putting in and not receiving anything out in benefit, man, like you are getting fleeced. It's just what it is. Right? What's that, 501c3? I guess so. $10.10-5905. That is the filing number of the religious affidavit 1099 form that was filed August 1st, 1928 in Chicago, Illinois, Cook County Recorder's Office by Drew Ali as presiding officer, and I think at least 3 or 4 more members of the board of directors, operating as an actual organization or assembly for the nation. So they actually had representatives in trust. Most well. As a matter of fact, right? So I don't want to make this about me. This is that document right here. No. 10-10-59-05 altogether. That is the file number. Where is that at? Yeah, it has to be out. Oh, there we go. All right. right here. You read under here, right? It tells you it's a Form 1099. It says our authority. Authority means jurisdiction. It means right of claim, right? And again, this is, oh yeah, that's what, my bad. The file number is there too. Right, triple, right there. My bad, y'all. Right there. 10-10-5905. Are you teaching how to become your own business? Yes, that's so. What I'm teaching is how to become it. Yes, yes. To act as a business person. Yes. I'm not a businessman. I'm a businessman. Let me handle my business. Damn. Yes, I'm teaching everyone that the proper way to operate, the proper way to perform in government is professional. That's what I'm teaching. So I'm teaching that your name is your business, that you were born with a sole proprietorship, which is sole liability, and it was given to you, and you must give it back to the one who gave it to you in order to come into union with one or more persons. So you're no longer an individual with full liability. You now share liability as a partner in the business. Excuse me, my business being Pennsylvania. I'm a professional Pennsylvanian. I have all the licenses and insurances necessary, right? We get all our licenses and insurances through our social security number. Well, my social security number was pledged for this new number, and so I already have the secured insurances and licenses or permissions in the public. No, I did not. I did not go over there. Right. As a matter of fact, I was about to bring this all to a close. Right. But for cons, you know, let me see, is this someone who's already? I hold consultations where we can speak about those things, right? If I'm not already speaking about it, and you would like for me to speak about it in person, you know, we could do that. If you are truly interested, send me a DM. I'll let you know the terms and conditions, right? And then we could take care of that. As always, I'm just your brother, man. Come to show you the way back to your own equity. Worship not the man, but the heart. Right? Peace and love.